Hello, my name's John. This is my Fen Guard Sergeant, and you're watching Wargames, Models, and Other Hobbies. Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be making a second member of my Drookian Fen Guard. This was the model I made in my first video. I'll leave a link in the description. This whole project is going to be me working out if I can make a small squad of miniatures just from one model. That original model is the Veteran Sergeant Guard, which I'll put up on the screen now, from the Hell's Last set. So I'm just going to jump straight into it and get the parts I need. So as with last video, I'm going to use the body. I'm not going to use the arms for this one. I will use the backpack, and I'm going to need a base. And I'm going to be looking at the Drookian set, and I'm specifically looking for the flamer. So let me get the parts for that from this set. Now, I'm aware that in the first video I mentioned that these were going to be kind of stand-ins for Tempest Sons, and I know they don't look like it, but it's the closest playable kind of squad I could get for now. And if it works, I'm going to make a few more models. But the reason why I chose them was because of the original Sergeant having the Hotshot Las pistol as their sidearm. Kind of determined what I was going to do for the rest of the squad. So, what I'm looking to do is use these weapons. Use this. Okay, there's a fly in here. I'm just going to get rid of it. Okay, apologies about that. There was a fly buzzing around the room and it was getting rather annoying. So as with my real-time videos, what you see is what you get. The only time I'll pause and stop the video is if I need to let the dog out, phone call, someone at the door, and now if a fly starts bothering me. So anyway, where was I? Yep, so I've cut these parts from Drookian set. And what I'm looking to do is work out how I'm going to get them to fit onto this model. So I'm going to dry fit the model together first. Oops, there we go. And looking at it, I don't think I'm going to need to do too much to it, apart from trim down the sides of the clothing, the cowl going over the top here. I mean, that does kind of fit in. So with that sitting there, I'm wondering, so I'm going to have to do this side. So let's move some parts out of the way and carefully trim that. So with that side cut, let's line it up to this one just here. There we go. Okay. I think, yeah, that arm will fit on there now. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let's glue this together, and then I'll start adding other bits and pieces to it. Now, with this project, to be honest, I don't know how far I'm going to go with it, whether I'm going to paint all of these up and so on. But if you'd like to see them painted when I'm done, please drop a comment, as I only really want to make content that people want to see. So that's going to go in there like that. Okay, let's trim some of that down slightly. Now, the reason why I went for the Scions squad, the Tempest Sons, Scions, however you want to say it, was because they were a 5-man squad and they had the choice of a variety of different weapons to actually make them playable. So that's special weapons, as well as the sergeant and so on. And if I wanted to expand them later on, I can do by just adding more models. This is going to be a little bit of a fumble, this one. Oops. It's where I wish I had tinier hands. And also a thumb that works properly. That's another story. Right, I need to get a lot of glue on there. Okay, let's hold that for a little bit. So I've got to think about a head for this guy as well, but we'll wait until I've made sure that this body does actually kind of work with the flamer before doing that. Okay. So what I want to do while that... because there's nothing really to stick it to, I mean, ideally, what I should have done probably is stick the original right arm in and then trim that down, but it's a bit late for that now. But let's see where I can go with this. Got to be careful when I'm brushing so much glue on it that I don't get it under my finger and then make fingerprints all over the thing. Oh, okay, this is frustrating. But as with these videos, warts and all, you're going to see it working, you're going to see it not working. Sorry if you hear any traffic in the background. I know I say that a lot, but I have had comments in the past about the traffic noise. Okay, this is fundamentally frustrating now. Right, I need to bring that arm up. Sorry if that's gone out of focus or not into shot while I've been playing around. Probably going to need to use some green stuff on this at some point. Okay, let's just hold that there. Okay, hang on. Right, what we're going to do, I'm going to just push fit it onto the base to give me something a bit better to hold. That's better. Okay, let's get some glue into there. Okay, so there is some little gaps under the arm there, but that's going to be for later on to fill and sort out. There we go. So there is that flamer for now. Now I'm going to put that aside to dry for a second, but before I do, I'm just going to dab a little bit more glue just around these joints to allow that to melt the plastic a little bit more and go off. I don't know if that tube's going to be in the right place for the flame thrower, but let's move that to one side. I'm going to have a look at some heads. And I'm looking at this one just here, as well as that one there with the bandana on. But I think I'm going to go for this one. Let's just tidy up this one. Now I don't know how it's going to fit. It might just fit straight in. If it does, brilliant. Okay, I'm going to have to trim it down slightly. So what I want to do though is just have a quick look and see how. Okay, no, so that'll. Okay, right. So the backpack itself, what I want to do is cut off the fuel canister from this one, cut off the lasgun ammunition there, join them together. So that's the next stage. Let's just trim this head and just shape it to make it fit. So because it's got such a large ball joint on the neck, it's not slipping in to the gap left by the model. So just going to carefully carve a little bit away. Now I was thinking as well, if this is successful and I make a full squad, well, maybe I should make another type of unit. And they do have in their lore, the Fen Guard, cavalry. Now I might have cut a little bit too much away from this one. That's okay. What I'm gonna do, let's dab some glue around the edge there. Let's just hold that in place for a second. Yeah, I've probably cut away a bit too much there. Might be sitting too... Actually, let's just bring that up slightly, just hold it in place for a bit. What was I saying before gluing that? Oh yeah, some cavalry. So I was thinking of either using some of the Death Guard cavalry, or is it the Attilan Rough Riders, to create a cavalry unit. Okay, I'm happy with that now. The one thing I have noticed, while I wait for this to dry, I'll babble on a little bit more, is the model's profile on the legs. Now I reckon I could get away with maybe one or two, well, obviously one, but maybe two, maybe three pointing in the same direction as they walk. But I'm going to have to model some in a slightly different direction to make their profiles look different. But already I'm quite liking this Fen Guard Flamer Trooper. So let's just carefully put this to one side. I'm going to lay it on its side off camera because I don't want the head to sink into the body. Now let's have a look at these. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for this backpack. So, just going to have to go for it. Let's start by carefully cutting off the top. Now, normally I'd use snips. But because it kills one side of whatever you're chopping, unless you've got some really nice high-end ones, I'm going to lose a lot of the other part of the model, and I won't want to use that for another conversion. So what I want to do is see where this sits. So what I might do is tack this in place, then cut the rest of the backpack to stick on top of it. That's what I think I'm going to do. Make sure these arms are in the right place. There we go. So I've got a variety of different parts that I've been pulling together for this project. Mainly a few spare Imperial Guard parts, but also the odd bit from Necromunda kits. Okay. That's moving a little bit too far over for my liking. Whoop. I don't even know if I'm on camera. No, I'm not. I'm gonna have to sort out my camera soon so I can see exactly what I'm working on. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there's... I think that's too far away. So, right, let's take that off and trim the back off. Bring this back on, let's... Okay. That's better. There we go. That's sitting better. So now I've done that, let's trim the bottom off this pack. And just off camera, that's fallen off. Let's try and position that back in place. It's too much glue, not enough time. I'm rushing it a little bit. Okay. So I just want to sit. Oh, just notice, let's get that peg out of the back of this one. Okay. Okay, oh, it's out of focus. Why does it keep going out of focus? There we go. Oh, this is definitely fiddlier than I thought it would be. There we go, okay. I might need to do a little bit of extra work on these backpacks at some point. But for now, oh, sorry, it keeps going out of focus and I don't know why, but I think it's trying to focus on something on the map. Okay. Okay, so that, okay, I'm liking the look of that. Let's zoom out a little bit. So there is trooper number 2 from this squad of Fen Guard. Let's put them up against the sergeant there. So yeah, a little bit fiddly that one, but it's given me a few ideas for how to make the other members of the squad. So what I think I'm going to do, after I've made each of the models, I'm going to do another video adding extra little details and things like that to them. So, whoop, as I drop this and probably knock bits off it, oh, that's okay. So at the moment, let's put the original model back up on the screen so you can see what it looks like compared to this one. But for now, yeah, please join me on the next video. I hope you've enjoyed this one. All I can say is, my name's John, thanks for tuning in. And you've been watching War Games, Models, and Other Hobbies.